Welcome to Project Eternity. Welcome to one of the most original and transformational projects of our times that can change the direction of humanity. Project Eternity Tantra is redefining the mystical practice of Tantra and bringing this wisdom to a select audience. Before we get started, we are looking for only 12 families to donate $1.2 million each, and we promise we'll return 10 times of that value to you, and you'll see it by the end of the presentation. So let's begin. Tantra is all about cosmic consciousness. Unfortunately, the practice of Tantra in the West and all over the world is that it is a sexual philosophy. Nothing is far from the truth. Cosmic consciousness is about the consciousness in the astral light, the astral energy flowing from the stars to the human body. The human body? Now, the ancients knew this. The macrocosm is the microcosm. And that's why they developed temples all over the world that mimic the human body. In reality, the atom is the same as the human body and is the same as the universe. Let's take a look at the human body. The human body is a fascinating thing which we are not aware of. The atom is the body, is the universe, and that's why the name anatomy has the word atom in it. The meridians or the nervous system is the electrical energy. The heart is a source of magnetic energy. The yin and the yang now come together and they balance themselves. It is up to us to realize it and shape or reshape our experience, and that gives us superpowers. How does that happen? There are 64 points of energy in our human body, and that connects with the 64 archetypes of the cosmos. These archetypes are cosmic consciousness elements, and they exist in the cosmos. And this is the I Ching code as well. Now, the I Ching code, remember, it gives you three things. It gives you a shadow, which is something that you need to overcome, a gift that you're born with, and a higher power called a siddhi that you can aspire for. What we are talking about is how the studying of the temples, the 64 archetypes, are going to connect with the 64 codons in our DNA and RNA, and this happens through the different emotional states. Just being able to understand them can help reprogram the body, the cells, and regenerate them. This is where we can find peace, love, happiness, and immense inner power. Wondering about the yin and the yang? The entire computer industry runs on yin and yang, and that is so fundamental. That's why our bodies are nothing but batteries or cells. The electrical or the nervous system, and the heart and the magnetic system. Tantra, or the science of bliss, is nothing but achieving the sacred union with the cosmos. This is the divine bliss or the divine orgasm that we are talking about, where the magnetic fields of the atom, the cells of our body, the universe, they are all working together and in alignment, like a donut inside a donut inside a donut. This is the real Tantra. Well, if this hasn't changed your complete perception of Tantra, our initiative will. This is the biggest opportunity for families to invest in a project for their lineage and humanity as well. So let's talk about it. There is hardly any original research that connects cosmic consciousness, alchemical processes, our body, I Ching, DNA, etc. There's no synthesis going on. That's what we want to do, as everything is coded into the Indian temples thousands of years back. Your donations will create paradigm shifts for generations to leverage and develop themselves through their inner power. This protects generational wealth, leadership, and well-being. We are in a business of transformation, but using ancient wisdom and decoding it. So let's talk about how we want to decode Tantra and this ancient wisdom. Let's take you through it. The temple on the left is called the 64 yoginis or the 64 archetypes. This is the key. The more we can study this, the better is our knowledge. On the right, again, is the 64 codon rings of our DNA and the 64 I Ching. The temple in India was built perhaps 10,000 years back for people to meditate and connect their consciousness. When you meditate at the center, your consciousness connects with the 64 cosmic archetypes called the yoginis that trigger the changes in the DNA, regenerates the bodies, and then changes our consciousness. This is exactly the same representation again on the right. So now, what is an archetype? It is a subconscious and subjective element beyond the 5 perceptions that we have. The ancients were an advanced race of beings, perhaps 20,000, maybe 30,000, maybe even 50,000 years back. They were exceptionally multisensory, and I believe they were androgynous because they were so connected. The example of Nataraja here, when expressed through geometry, is the Star of David, showing the power of the Shiva, the male, Shakti, the female, creating this 6-pointed star that is the source of all creation. But Nataraja in the sky is Orion. The gestures of the hand are much important over here in these archetypes. For example, the feet is showing where the constellation of Sirius is. The spiritual center of the universe is Sirius and is worshipped as the blazing star. These advanced beings understood the power of the astral light coming from the different parts of the cosmos and their properties. What they did is they coded that entire wisdom into statues like this. These statues in temples have stood the test of time for thousands of years. These are the archetypes and have the wisdom built into it, and they tell us which star it flows. Flows would mean the energy, the kind of energy, property of the energy, and how it affects the human experience. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what this archetype means, but sorry, it looks complex. But we want to let you know that we have decoded all this over a decade. It basically shows how this energy flows, in what direction, what dimension, and where it emanates from. So let's look at why we should be studying temples. This is a tantric temple in India. The question is, what are they talking about? If your eye falls into the erotic part of the temple, don't feel guilty. Just kidding. The human body is designed to raise the sensual energy through the spine to begin the cosmic oneness process. That's why we are attracted to eroticism. The DNA is coded to look for it. Where humanity fails every time is while they are raising the vibration and the energy through the spine, they need to understand the practice of raising this life force energy in the right way without the ejaculation. And that's the key. Now, I'm sure you'll be able to see the eroticism over here and also the archetypes on the left and the right. Let's study them further. The archetypes over here are telling the story of the flow of sensual energy. The lines over here are the constellations of Leo Major and Minor. What they are saying is this is the lion's gate through which the energy of the Sirius star or constellation comes and affects the human body. How do we know that? Let's take a deeper view. These are the 4 big stars of Sirius A and Sirius B, and it shows how the energy flows and how the energy connects through the human body. If you think the women are touching their genitals, sorry, that's not what it is. Those are specific hand gestures called mudras. There's about 64 main ones and nearly 400 of them showing how the energy moves to which specific organ and which energy point of the human body. Everything over here is a code. We can even study them further. For example, what you can see in the Starbucks cup that we drink, which is the siren. Everything is a code and it's in symbols and archetypes. So let's look at what's happening here. So, the energy from the feet of Shiva is now reaching the lotus, which blooms, which is the yoni, the womb, through the constellation of Cancer. And through the energy from Sirius, it creates the fractal energy of creation that ultimately creates the 5 elements. The 5 elements would mean the fire, air, water, earth, and space. Just by harnessing the energies of astral light using the sounds and geometry, etc., the ancients created these structures. That's why their creation is so flawless and have stood the test of times. For thousands of years, there are no stone tools, no debris, nothing that's found 100 miles away from these temples. And these are quantum devices that are aligned with the movement of the cosmos. This temple in India is a tantric temple, which is called the 64 yoginis, and these yoginis are arranged in the periphery. And at the center, when you meditate, the direction itself will tell you which archetype you need to connect with your magnetic energy to raise your vibrations to achieve bliss. That's what they did. That is the reason we need to study temples. So before we talk about this, let's talk about some numbers and funding and what's in it for your family. We need to study 12 temples and we need to build a team of specialists who are stalwarts in their own way. Some should be the greatest when it comes to meditation, some amazing with geometry, quantum physics, math, material properties, acoustics, cymatics, etc. We need stellar operational managers as well to manage the entire process. And also media professionals and educational technologists will be able to archive this information for the future. The project cost for the entire project is divided as $1.2 million per temple, and we will only invite money from 12 families. So now let's look at what you get in return. So what do we give back? So the first thing is the movie and the documentary series is a must. Getting a sponsor and profit is not a problem. It's a no-brainer because the audience will love this wisdom. We have done our calculations, but what matters is what we give back to you. The most appealing thing is actually here. The residences. Your family can stay for 1 month per year and access all our programs free. And it's for 3 generations starting with you. And that is fundamental because this is where your generations will be trained on ancient wisdom. Can you imagine a place that is so pure, so mystical, so magical and inspiring? And we have that site and we'll show that to you. But more than that, your money will go into building village community centers because we'll train villagers to make Ayurvedic medicine, which is going to be used for healing and regeneration of our bodies. And it'll never be for sale. Never. So let's take a peek at our site. Imagine every day one wakes up and watches the splendor of the mountains. Imagine lovers holding hands, rejuvenating themselves from the stress of the outside world. Imagine families healing their feuds over here by meditating together. Imagine engaged couples getting to know each other more than before they tie the knot. We're going to have programs like this which will tell people the truth of their relationship. This will be a place of creativity, a place to face themselves and contemplate their lives. This is a place for well being for generations. That's why our residences are completely exclusive. We do not believe in charity, we believe in creation of value. Your donation creates and protects your biggest investment, your family and lineage for 3 generations. If you look at what we offer, you'll understand that you might have the best lawyers and the best financial professionals, but can any one of them offer a solution for well being that we offer? Imagine families going through divorce and family feuds. We welcome them to our site, we teach them the wisdom of spirituality, and the answer will bubble right to the top. Imagine families having problems of experiencing love. For example, how do you know someone loves your child for themselves and not the money or the fame you have? We all know about the story of the Gucci family. Tantra and our tantric healers know exactly how to find the truth and help these families. Project Eternity Tantra is a place of exceptional experiential wisdom that money can never buy. This is a non flashy place in the purity of nature to find the beauty in the ordinary and the excellence in ourselves. Help us so we can help you. Be a part of a revolution that will change humanity towards the better. Help create a brighter legacy and lineage for your family. Well, whether you invest in our project or not doesn't matter. But I hope you saw a solution today for your family, the rising generation, and the future generations.